welcome to our brand new show live stream as we kickstart a brand new primetime lineup on NDTV 24/7. Now remember, this is your program to air your voice, to share your concerns and demand answers to your problems. Each day you can join us. We have our WhatsApp numbers there. Record your videos and send them to us, and we're of course going to take to our guests and try and get you some of those answers that you are asking. Today we asked, honest taxpayers pay while billionaires get away. What is going on? Remember, you can send us those video queries on the numbers there on your television screen. Also email us at livestream@ndtv.com. I beg your pardon. But let me introduce my panel right away. I'm joined by Sohail Seth, Managing Partner, Counselage. Also joining us is Abhinav Prakash, Assistant Professor at Delhi University. Now, 11,400 crores is the Nirav Modi scam. He's fled along with almost his entire family, his wife, his brother, his uncle. Today, Vikram Kothari of Automac Pens is being accused of bank loan default of 3,700 crores. How deep is the rot? Where does it end? How much more taxpayers' money will go into these banks to be siphoned off by industrialists who will then flee? I'm going to go across to our first question of the evening before I take it to my guests. And let's hear from Sukanta Spain from Delhi on what she thinks of clearly what is a very frustrating situation for the great Indian middle class.
Hi, this is Sugant and I live in Delhi, working for a software company. My concern is regarding the tax that I pay to the government, and I believe this money should be used in the development of this country. And along with this, I have the question, when I hear about these incidents or the news comes where people take away crores of money, and this is our money, the taxpayers' money, which I and people like me who are doing service or business, they are paying timely tax, and this money, we hope that this is used for the country's development. But if this money is being taken away by people, wouldn't name, there are several, but if this is the way the money is being wasted or taken away, then the government should be answerable and they should be doing something about it. Else, I think they should temporarily, or I don't know what is the measure to do it, but they should ensure that we are not paying tax until these cases are resolved. Thank you.
Okay, that was Kanta Des. Well, I'd like to get you in at this point. If that's how taxpayers' money is getting siphoned away, then should we not pay taxes? It's a cynical view, but we can ill afford this cynicism, but we can understand it. We can see where this great angst is coming from. Wouldn't you say it's a fair question that people are asking?
Absolutely. In fact, my mother asked me last night, saying, is means her FD safe in a public sector bank? And these are real concerns for real people who don't have the guile, the mischievousness and the manipulation skills of rogue industrialists. And I think the government needs to take the following steps. Number one, revisit every industrialist who has pending loans where the interest has not been paid or has been manipulated, and actually revoke their passports before they begin to flee. Number two, we need to overhaul the banking system. I've said this on your channel earlier and on other channels. To my mind, this is not about Nirav Modi. He's the rascal or the rogue. It is about a systemic error and with rogue elements within the banking circle which lies undetected. I mean, where the hell was the RBI? Were they asleep? This is the Reserve Bank of India, which wants to regulate on every goddamn thing, where its previous governor would wax eloquent on values and grace and elegance, but was sleeping at his watch. So where are we in this country? Who is responsible? I haven't seen a single statement from the governor of the RBI to calm waters, to pacify people. The Punjab National Bank is only one element, is the epitome of the scourge that has afflicted India's banking sector. And until we realize that this is a banking issue and not only an issue about manipulation, we will never ever get down to the real problem. Nirav Modi was able to do what he did because the banking system allowed him to do it.
Right, and we've been talking
allowed
about this.
To do it.
Okay,
Why
we've been
do we
talking
create
about this
conditions where
overhaul.
people are
It is
allowed
now
to get away?
clearly overdue. It is now clearly overdue. I'm going to get to it, sir, in just a bit. But there's a Twitter comment that we have that's coming in right now. This is Vicky Chaudhary basically saying that we need to fix this problem and we need to fix it right away. We're going to flash that for you in just a bit. But this is a comment coming in from Vicky Chaudhary, who's writing in to say what actually happened in this scam. Let's start from the concept and let's fix it. I want to ask you, sir, Professor Prakash, it's easy to say that we want this overhaul. We've been talking about the banking overhaul forever. We are told every now and then that it is top priority for this government or that. And this is not about any one party here this evening, but about the message that it sends out to people. Now, when you speak to people, everyone is saying, if this were a regular Aam Aadmi who had taken, say, a house loan, for argument's sake, and had defaulted on even 1 month's EMI, you can bet the bankers would have knocked on his door, embarrassed him at work, done everything possible. But the fat cats get away with the impunity that they do. What is the message that goes out?
Yeah. First thing I'd like to say that as of now, as he was talking, his mother was asking whether my FD is secure or not. As of now, our banking sector capital adequacy ratio is more than enough.
Okay.
We're not crossing that red line. We are not at the danger line. Lots of banks are, but overall we are at the safe space as of now. But yeah, you are absolutely right that if we as a taxpayer, the common man, we default on a loan or something, EMI payment, they're going to make the life hell for us. But what has happened in India, this problem is a deep-rooted one. After independence, when we instituted this socialist state, right? So we have created this whole network of crony socialism. So the bureaucrats, the politicians, the bank officials, the corporates, they have all found...
We had crony capitalism. Now we're also
we're
also guilty of crony socialism. So
it's more of a
cronyism. Yeah.
So it's more of a crony socialism because you've given lots of rent-seeking power to these government officials, and the corporates in India, they can always bribe them and game them. So this is a classic case. Modi's scam is a classic case of that nexus in operation. We have seen that how there were political pressures on the banking officials not to do anything about it, how they are getting tip-off, they can flee at the right moment, how they have been evergreening their loans without any controls upon them. I don't think that only 2 or 3 people were involved.
Okay.
You cannot have such a big scam running for years, and you can only say 2 employees were involved.
And that's a good point. Just how deep does the rot go? But before I go across to my next question, which is with Richa, I just want to get Sohail in quickly. You heard what Prakash had to say that, when people ask you, and it is a fair question. We have people all around us asking, is my money in government bank safe? Is my FD safe? Are my deposits safe? He's saying, look, there is no concern on that. But will anyone be pacified, do you think? Can you take that home to your mum? Do you think it'll help?
Professor Prakash, I'm reminded when I listen to you of Bernard Shaw, those who can do, those who can't teach. Technically, you're absolutely right, but perceptually, what you're seeing amongst people is fear. Perceptually, what you're seeing amongst people is anger. Perceptually, what you're seeing amongst people is the lack of trust in India's banking sector. If I can't trust a nationalized bank, who the hell am I going to trust?
Who am I
Often
going to
trust is a matter of perception, not of reality. So with all respect, I would say that my mother raised a fear that afflicts the minds of every honest taxpayer and every common citizen. It's not about capital adequacy ratios. It's about the message that you send out.
Right. She's echoing what people have on their minds, what the Aam Janta is feeling at this moment. Richa has a comment in from Chandigarh. Let's listen in to you, Richa.
To restore the confidence of the public in the banking sector, given that it accounts for around 70% of India's banking assets, owing to your lack of care and accountability.
Right, that's of course at the heart of it, wouldn't you say, Mr. Prakash? Well, what she's trying to say is that where is the accountability? And the accountability really is missing. Someone like this is siphoning off all this money. We're told it's going from 280 crores to 11,400 crores. Other reports are saying it could be, in the realm of 30,000 plus crores. It's going from half a dozen banks to more than a dozen banks, and it's all happening so fast. Where is the accountability? Where does the buck stop?
Well, very true. I mean, there are basically 3 layers to it what has happened. One is that the PNB has completely failed as a bank in undertaking its prime responsibility and its prime task of accountability, supervision and control. Second is that RBI, which is a regulator of the banks, as Suhail said, was also pointing out where was the RBI governor. The previous governor was more happy preaching about intolerance rather than strengthening the banking system. And all this started in the 2011-13 period. The third point is that systematic fault that the government has also been not as proactive as should have been. So government has lots of things, bringing in banking regulation, Amendment Act, making the laws more tough for the defaulters.
Okay, so you think there are things that ought to have been done, were promised, were talked about, but there's basically been no delivery. And again,
no, I'm not saying no delivery. I'm not saying no delivery.
Not enough.
Not enough, because the rot is so deep.
The rot is so deep, and it's staggering, really.
I think it's only 2015 when the government undertook this asset quality review that we came to know about the extent of the problem. So perhaps you have to move.
When are we going to act? That was 2015, is 2018. Okay, fair enough. Before I go back to my panelists, I just want to play this video here. Now, you know, this was something that created headlines. It was horrific. Loan recovery agents had allegedly crushed to death a Dalit farmer under a tractor in Uttar Pradesh's Sitapur district. This happened after he failed to pay back an arrear on a loan. This was, Chandra, he'd taken a loan of 5 lakhs from a finance firm in 2015 to buy a tractor. 2 years later, by December, he'd not managed to pay back 4 lakhs. The company issued recovery notices, though he deposited 35,000 in the first week of Jan. But eventually, it cost him his life. They came over and he was killed. And that is what those loan sharks did to him. And Sohail, this is what is angering us Indians. This really underscores the problem in the system as we know it. There is this farmer. He had to pay with his life. His default was 4 lakh rupees.
But Natasha, sorry to quote Bernard Shaw again, when whales fight, shrimps are eaten. You know, an industrialist can lock horns, can manipulate the system. The farmer, the common man, has no recourse to justice in this country. I mean, the Supreme Court, with due respect, will spend more hours on Padmavati and whether it should be allowed or banned, rather than on the afflictions that actually affect the functioning of a great democracy like ours and citizenry welfare. But I don't want to go there. I want to make 2 limited points, as Professor Prakash rightly said. Number 1, this is a systemic error that we are now familiar with. It's playing a pattern. It's playing to a pattern. It's not unusual. It's not rocket science. Number 2, we do not send regulators to jail, which we should start doing. We do not send bureaucrats to jail, which we should start doing. There was a whistleblower who said that he was asked by a bureaucrat to tender a resignation. Why is that person not being arrested? You cannot create a cozy club and expect transparency. Transparency per se recognizes no club. The moment you have a club which protects its own, you will never have transparency in a real sense. And that, to my mind, is a wake-up call for this government. Modi has his heart in the right place. He now needs his hands to actually also act in relation to the promises that have been made, rightfully so, to a nation such as ours. We cannot afford subsidies on the one hand and corruption on the other.
On this, fair enough.
We can't afford for industrialists to steal money.
Okay.